U.S. Secretary of Defence Pete Hegseth is angry about critical media coverage. He has defended the U.S. president's claim that American strikes obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities. He's now claiming that Donald Trump made history with those strikes.
And it was a resounding success, resulting in a ceasefire agreement and the end of the 12-day war. There's been a lot of discussion about what happened and what didn't happen. Step back for a second. Because of decisive military action, President Trump created the conditions to end the war, decimating, choose your word, obliterating, destroying Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Now, Trump teased today's news conference as providing irrefutable new details on the weapons strike. But these satellite images are the only public images we have of the aftermath. And it's the tone of the news conference itself that is making headlines. And the CBC's Karen Pauls was watching it all from Washington. She joins us now live. So, Karen, what struck you as you were listening in to the Secretary of Defense?
I mean, you mentioned tone. This news conference started with some politics and some damage control by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. We know President Donald Trump is furious after a leaked defense intelligence report suggested damage may not have been quite as extensive as he's been saying. Hegseth berated the media for reporting on that. Take a listen to this clip.
You, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump. Because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind.
And that's where General Dan Kane came in. He's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was providing some details of the actual mission. He says this actually goes back 15 years when two officers started watching the construction of the Fordo nuclear site. They realized they didn't have a weapon that would be able to get down that deep and destroy it, so they started working to build these bunker-busting bombs. Kane described what happened during Operation Midnight Hammer when those 30,000-pound bombs were dropped. Take a listen to what he said.
The cap was forcibly removed by the first weapon, and the main shaft was uncovered. Weapons 2, 3, 4, 5 were tasked to enter the main shaft, move down into the complex at greater than 1,000 feet per second, and explode in the mission space. Weapon number 6 was designed on each side, so there were 6 on each side. Weapons number 6 was designed as a flex weapon to allow us to cover if one of the preceding jets or one of the preceding weapons did not work.
Kane says the bombs did their job. They functioned as they were designed. And he says one of the B-2 bomber pilots described it as the brightest explosion they'd ever seen. And he warned there are people studying other targets and developing weapons to destroy them in the same way. Now, in the Q&A, there was a question about whether Iran had been able to remove some of its enriched uranium before the strikes. President Trump, watching the news conference, has already posted on social media saying the cars and small trucks at the site were those of concrete workers trying to cover up the top of the shafts. Nothing was taken out of facility, would take too long, too dangerous, and very heavy and hard to move. That still all has to be confirmed. We know Hegseth will be among those giving classified briefings to the Senate and the House today and tomorrow. Democrats are questioning Trump's justification to bomb Iran and whether those strikes were successful. Most Republicans are defending Trump and congratulating him for the ceasefire, but some are uncomfortable with the U.S. involvement. And the Senate is expected to vote at some point on a resolution that would require congressional approval if Trump decides to strike Iran again. Arthi, that could come as early as today after they're briefed.
Now, in addition to the U.S. president trying to clarify the information that is coming out, we also know that the U.S. president is talking about new diplomacy with Iran. What are we watching for on that front?
Right. Well, Trump said yesterday at NATO that Iranian officials will be in Washington next week. His goal still to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. But he was back and forth a little bit on whether a formal agreement is necessary. I should note Iran has not yet confirmed those talks. Couple of things to watch for. Iran's parliament has voted to suspend cooperation with the UN's nuclear watchdog, so they may not get access for inspections. And the Iranian foreign minister is also suggesting Iran may rethink its membership of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Trump also looking to cement that ceasefire between Israel and Iran, which he says is a direct result of those military strikes. And Arthi, we've seen video this morning of Iran's supreme leader declaring victory over Israel and the U.S. and saying he'll never surrender. So still lots to watch here.
Thanks for this, Karen. That is the CBC's Karen Pauls in Washington.